Olá, gente. Então, a gente está aqui para uma aula de terça, com aula novamente. E hoje, deixa eu só dar uma explicadinha antes de a gente começar. Segunda-feira, a gente tem o inglês básico. Terça-feira, a gente tem o inglês intermediário. Quarta-feira, nós temos o inglês avançado. Então, hoje, inglês intermediário, ok?
All right, hello everyone. Teacher Alan here. Here's another video, another lesson for you guys from Matrix Cashback. So we're ready with another lesson for you guys, but I heard today's lesson is going to be for elementary students and pre-intermediate students. So I thought we can talk a little bit about tenses in English.
Então, hoje nós vamos falar um pouquinho a respeito de sentenças em inglês, de frases.
So yesterday was the elementary class, and we talked about how we can have a conversation with someone when we meet them for the first time.
Então, ontem falamos a respeito de como nós conversamos com alguém quando encontramos essa pessoa, conhecemos essa pessoa pela primeira vez.
All right, so I'm going to start by talking about one of the verbs that is very frequently used in our discussions. And I'm going to start by and that is have and has.
Então vamos hoje começar por dois verbos muito importantes que usamos bastante em uma conversa e nas frases, que é have and has. Ter.
All right, so I'm going to be using these two verbs in the topic of family, under the topic of family.
Então ele vai usar esses verbos have and has focados em família. Esse é o tópico de hoje.
All right. So I'm going to create a family tree over here on the board. So let's say this is me, Alan. I'm going to try and draw things as well as I can. So this is Alan, that's me, and this is my wife, Mary. Now, here, this would be my father and my mom.
O que ele está fazendo é uma árvore genealógica.
My father, John, and my mom, Sarah. And then Mary and I have 3 kids who are so this is the boy. Alex. This is an older boy.
Então ele está fazendo a família dele. Ele fez os pais ali em cima, ele e a esposa. E agora os filhos.
Then, and we got the daughter. Carol. All right, so let's see. Sarah is my mom. So the first word we want to learn today is mom. So family, we have the word family. And then we have the word mom. So Sarah is my mom.
Sara é a mãe dele.
And then John, so John is my dad.
John é o pai dele.
So we got mom and dad. Wife.
E depois nós temos
So
a
Mary is my wife.
esposa. Mary é a esposa dele.
Mary is my wife. 3 kids. I have 3 kids. Kids.
E tem 3 filhos.
I have 2 sons. Son. Alex and Ben.
Masculino.
And I have a daughter. Carol is my daughter.
E uma filha, que é a Carol.
My daughter. So we got family. This is a family tree. A family tree. Mom, dad. We got son, and we got the daughter. Now, is my wife. I am Mary's husband. So here's another word. I am Mary's husband, wife, and
Sou o esposo da Mary.
I am Mary's husband. Mary is my wife. My dad, Sarah, is my mom. Now, I'm going to give you some more vocabulary. This is the vocabulary part of the lesson. So I'm giving you some vocabulary.
Então essa é a parte do vocabulário. Para vocês pouco de vocabulário.
Sarah and mom are my parents. Sarah and mom and John are my parents. So we got mom and dad. They are the parents.
Então, pai e a mãe, eles são os pais.
Now, Sarah is my mom. Sarah is my children's grandmother. So we got grandmother.
Então, os filhos do Alan são os netos dos avós.
John is my dad. John is my children's grandfather. So we got grandmother and we got grandfather.
Nós temos avó e avô.
So we got grandmother and grandfather. And you'll give John a little bit of painter over here. All right. So Sarah and John, my children's grandparents. So grandmother and grandfather and parents. So let's do a quick review of the words that we've talked about so far. Tree, got the family tree. Mom, dad, or mom, grandmother, grandfather, grandparents, parents or children, kids, sons, daughter, and this is my family. Family. So we've got the words on the board. And that's the end of the vocabulary part of the lesson. Let me erase this.
Então, esse foi o vocabulário. Esse foi o fim do vocabulário, da parte do vocabulário.
This is the verb usually use to talk about our family members. And I think, I don't know if you noticed that when I was speaking earlier on. I have a daughter. I have a daughter. Family members, we use the verb have. I have that would be the sentence.
Eu tenho uma filha.
But what would be the negative? This into a negative sentence, then I have to say, I
Se ele quiser colocar em negativo, como
don't
ficaria?
have a daughter. You have a daughter. So this is just an example. So this is the negative sentence. I have a daughter. The negative would be I don't. What would be the question? What would be the question?
O que seria a pergunta para...
Okay, a couple seconds for you guys. See if you can, let's see if you can question. What would be the question? Right. Can you guys try and write the question for me? If you have a piece of paper in front of you, try, write down the question.
Parte papel, tenta escrever.
To give you a little bit of help, I'm gonna write down the answer. The answer is yes. I do. The answer is yes, I do. So okay, I'm going to give you the question. The question is, do have, so I'm going to write have with blue color, have do you have a daughter? So that would be the question. We call it a yes-no question because the answer begins with yes or no. Yes, I do.
Você tem uma filha? Sim, eu tenho.
Son, yes, I do. So we talked about the verb have, and we talked about the positive form, we talked about the negative form, and we talked about the yes-no question. Let's see. I have another test for you guys. What would be the question? I have two sons.
Eu tenho 2
Two
filhos.
sons. What would be the question there? What would be the question? And write down the question. Try and write down the question. The question in a couple of seconds. Any guesses?
Gostaria de tentar.
Okay. So the question that we have, because we have a number here, the question begins with how many sons do have? How many sons do you have? Which is a different type of question from the question so we call this a yes/no question because the answer begins with a yes or no. A WH question because it begins with a WH word.
Esse nós chamamos de uma pergunta de sim ou não, porque a resposta que já começa com sim e começa com do aqui. Chamamos de WH, talvez?
WH.
Nós chamamos essa pergunta de W porque temos um W.
Be wondering, you're calling this a WH question, but this doesn't begin with WH word because how is an exception. So here's a list of WH words.
Você deve estar se perguntando por que é HW, uma pergunta HW, se não começa com HW. Lista de HW, de perguntas HW que você pode fazer.
So these are called in English WH words. Why? Because all of them except begins with W and H. This is the only exception. Considered a WH word with W and H. But these words at the beginning of a question, that question is considered a WH question and shouldn't be answered with yes or no.
Então, se virem, com aquelas palavras com W, inclusive essa daqui, e todas aquelas, elas não pergunta de sim ou não, elas são uma pergunta que você tem que responder completo.
All right. So let's continue with the lesson. I have a daughter. So here we have the verb have, but when do we use the verb has?
Temos o verbo ter. E quando que nós usamos o verbo has, que também é ter?
So some of you might already know this is the subject of the sentence. I, the sentence begins with the subject. The subject of the sentence is I. I is the subject of the sentence.
Então, sempre que nós temos o sujeito eu,
we also use have, you, and we, and they.
have, quando nós temos eu, você, nós ou eles.
So I have a daughter. We have a daughter. So for all these subjects, we use the verb have. But subject is he, we use the verb has. So he, a daughter. Here's a piece of advice for you guys at home. Before you watch the rest of the video, you have to create your own family tree. Piece of paper in front of you, draw your family tree, write the names, what's your dad's name, what's your mom's name, what's your grandparents' name, your family tree, and try and write down sentences about the family tree.
Agora, tente criar uma árvore da sua família. Escreva seu pai, sua mãe, seus filhos, seu irmão, seu filho, seu irmão. E tente escrever essas frases em inglês.
On a piece of paper, create a family tree, like what I did at the beginning of the video session, and write sentences. I have a daughter. I have 2 sons, or brothers, or I have 2 sisters. Write a couple of sentences with the verb have.
As frases com esse verbo, esses sujeitos.
That would be good practice. You can watch the rest of the video.
Depois de você fazer isso, você pode continuar assistindo o vídeo.
Yes. As we said, when the subject is he or she, we use the verb has. We got the positive, negative.
Nós temos o positivo do verbo has. O que será que seria o negativo?
Negative. He. I'm going to leave this blank. See if you can guess. Couple of seconds for you. The negative form with have or has. With has. See if you can try negative with has.
O que seria o negativo?
Type that in the message box.
Se você quiser escrever,
I can see your messages.
ele consegue ver as mensagens.
It'd be good to see some of your guesses. So again, for you guys out there, I have to say that throughout the videos, we do keep an eye on the messages that you write, on the comments that you write in the message box, and doing that, keep giving us your comments.
Então, ele está dizendo que ao redor, durante o vídeo, durante a aula, ele tenta ficar olhando esse bate-papo ao vivo para poder estar se comunicando.
All right, so the negative form would be doesn't because we have the auxiliary verb doesn't, we have to change has into have. We can't use has anymore because we have the auxiliary verb. He doesn't have a daughter. Doesn't have a daughter.
Então, por nós usamos esse verbo como um verbo auxiliar, a gente muda o resto para have novamente.
Right? That's the negative form. Let's talk about the question, the yes, no question form. Question form. All right, again, to guess. See if you can write the question. The answer, I give you the answer. Yes, he does.
Qual a pergunta para essa resposta que ele escreveu no quadro?
Any guesses? Go ahead and guess.
Pode chutar.
So the question is, so as you can see, we have these subjects and we have the verb have. We use the auxiliary verb do. One of these as the subject and we have the verb has, we use the verb has. We use the auxiliary verb does. Does he? Again, we need to change have because we have the auxiliary verb. Does he have a daughter? Daughter? Yes, he does. Or no, doesn't. Two possible answers. I'll give you the same possible answer here. So if the question is with do you have a daughter? No, I don't, would be the negative answer. So as you can see, the negative in the third person singular form, she, we use has, in the positive form, not in the negative and in the question form. Question form we use have because we use the auxiliary verb.
Então, ele explicou que as frases com has, quando é algo negativo ou uma pergunta, se usarmos o verbo auxiliar, nós mudamos para have novamente.
The last one, how about the WH question? The answer, he has what would be the question? WH question.
O que seria a pergunta?
What would be the WH question?
O que seria a pergunta para aquela resposta novamente?
I give you a couple of seconds.
Escreva no papel, ele vai dar alguns segundos para vocês tentarem.
Again, videos with a piece of paper at hand. Question like this, you have paper and pen handy so you can.
Então, é bom que você assista com algo para escrever, com papel de folha sulfite e uma caneta para você poder escrever.
The question is, WH word, how many does again remember the auxiliary verb before we use the verb have.
Então, lembrando novamente que para essa pergunta, como nós usamos o verbo auxiliar aqui, have e não has.
Object of the sentence is he or she. We use has only in the positive form, or not in the question form, and not in the yes/no question form, and not in the WH question form.
Nós usamos has apenas como positivo. Não usamos o negativo, não usamos na pergunta.
All right. And today, we talked about family vocabulary. We went through some vocabulary related to, and then we talked about the verbs that we can use, the verbs that are normally used to talk about family members. Beginning about your family members, wife, son, daughter, have, and has. If you want to talk about yourself, if you want to talk about somebody else.
Então, o que ele está falando é que esse é o básico da aula de hoje a respeito de família. Se você quer falar de você mesmo, have. Se você quer falar como família, você também usa o have. Você, have, ou eles, você usa o have. Ele ou ela, você vai usar o has.
Now, a little practice for you. And you can do this at home. Partner, you can find a partner and do it. So we're going to have a chat. We're going to have a conversation with Ed together.
Então,
With Edson.
nós vamos ter uma conversa agora. Se você tem parceiro na sua casa agora, tenta ter essa parecido.
And we're going to be talking about our families.
E nós vamos estar falando a respeito das nossas famílias.
Hi, Edson. How's it going?
Great, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Let's talk about our families. Do you have a brother?
Oh, I do.
You have.
So I have one brother.
Okay. Do you have any sisters?
No, I don't have any sisters. Do you have any sisters?
Well, yes, I have 3 sisters.
You have 3 sisters?
Yes, I have 3 sisters and 1 brother. Are you married?
No, I'm not married.
I'm married.
Do you have a family right now?
I do. My family lives with me, but we don't have any kids yet. My wife is a student. A student. We're both PhD students, and we don't have time for kids. So we don't have any kids. I won't have any kids. So as you can see, when we were talking about our families, we were using the word have all the time. Yes, I do. How many do you have? No, I don't have. Yes, I do have blah, 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 blah. So we were using the word, the conversation.
Então, nós usamos a palavra, o verbo have muito durante a conversa.
Now, here's another practice for you guys.
Mais uma prática para vocês.
And that's right now. And this is something you can do at home. You can find a partner and have a conversation with them.
Uma coisa que você pode treinar na sua casa, fazendo uma conversa com um parceiro.
This was a good practice for using have in your sentences.
Isso foi uma boa prática para usar
The positive form, the negative form, and the question form.
nas perguntas.
Next is a good opportunity for you. It's an activity that gives you an opportunity to practice using has.
A próxima atividade vai ser bom para você usar has.
Right now, go ahead and think about a friend. A close friend.
A respeito de um amigo próximo.
On a piece of paper, get a piece of paper and create their family tree.
Pega um papel e escreve dele, a árvore da família dele.
All right, so I'm going to do it here.
Então ele vai fazer, ele vai escrever a respeito da minha família.
Let me get the hair right. Okay. This is Edson. Tell me about your family.
I have
One brother
one brother.
and no sister, right? Your brother. And what's your brother's name?
Victor.
Victor. Is that how you write it? So we got Edson, Victor. Now,
I have one father and one mother.
your mom. What's her name?
Solange.
Okay.
S-O-L.
Allie.
Sally.
So you want to use easy names.
All right.
Okay. Double L. And your dad? And John, your dad. Do you want to tell us about your grandparents as well?
Yeah.
Your grandparents?
Yeah, that I have one grandma and one grandpa.
Okay.
Yes. And
Steve and
Alice.
Steve and Alice. So go ahead and do this. Think of a close friend. Make a family tree.
Então faça isso, pegue um papel, pense em um amigo próximo, a árvore dele.
Remember,
Lembre-se,
we use have and has not only to talk about our family members, but also to talk about our pets.
a have para falar também a respeito dos nossos animais de estimação. I do.
Your pet's name. Let's imagine this is a pet. This is a dog.
Show Julie.
Her name is Julie. So we can use have and has to talk about our pets as well. So after you get the family tree ready, now try and write sentences.
Então, depois de fazermos essa árvore do nosso amigo, algumas frases.
All right. We'll give you a word, and you're going to have to with that word about Edson's family tree. A brother. This sentence about Edson and about his family.
Complete essa frase a respeito essa frase que ele escreveu ali.
And try, give it a couple of seconds. Complete this sentence. His family. Now, as you can see from the family tree, Edson does have a brother. So the sentence has to be Edson has a brother.
Então, sendo que eu tenho um irmão, daquela maneira.
Good. Sentence number 2. Go ahead and write a sentence about Edson's family.
Outra frase com sister no fim.
The sentence has to end with the word sister.
Tem que terminar com uma palavra irmã no final.
Can you remember this person's name?
Do you want me to translate?
Yes, please.
So you only use has on the sentence, on the positive sentence. if you are using the third person.
Yes, that's correct. That's definitely correct. You use it only for the positive sentence, not for negative, not for questions. All right, so back to the sentence. Do you see a sister here?
Você vê uma irmã nessa árvore?
So this sentence is a negative sentence, and it goes like this. Doesn't a sister?
Uma sentença negativa.
All right, how much time do we have?
We have 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay, let's see. You guys can ask questions. It's the last minute of the session and about everything. So I said this is good practice for you. For you to practice writing sentences with has. You go on and keep writing sentences. A pet. You can write another sentence with a pet dog. You can write another sentence with wife.
Então você pode fazer outras frases.
It really depends on how committed you are and how much time you have. You can spend 5-10 minutes writing sentences about geometry.
Você pode ficar 5-10 minutos escrevendo frases a respeito da árvore familiar.
You can even try asking and answering questions.
Você também pode perguntar.
You can question and then answer.
Pergunta e também uma resposta.
He does. The sentence would be Edson has a pet dog and wife is, so we say Edson doesn't have and can be does Edson a pet?
Esses são os exemplos de frases que você pode treinar na sua casa.
For you to practice on your own. If you do not have a conversation partner, good strategy for you to practice.
Se você não tem alguém para praticar, essa maneira boa de se praticar.
Now, if you do have a conversation partner,
E se você tem alguém para conversar com você,
you can do something else. You can have a conversation with them
você pode ter uma conversa
about somebody else.
sobre alguém.
So, for instance, let's have a conversation about your dad.
Por agora, vamos ter uma conversa a respeito dos seus pais.
So, if we talk about Edson's dad, then we're gonna have to use he, right? So we're gonna be using has and does or doesn't practice.
Se formos falar a respeito dos meus pais, nesse caso, vamos usar has, vamos usar aquelas frases que praticamos agora.
So here we go. Edson, tell me about your dad. So, does your dad have any brothers?
Yes, my dad has.
So you can say, yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
He has 3.
He has 3 brothers.
3 brothers. Good. Does he have any sisters?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have any sisters.
No sisters. Okay. And a pet.
He does.
What does he have?
He has a dog.
Cool. What's the dog's name?
It is Chili. He has
Cool.
the same pet.
All right, cool. Thank you, Edson. See you later. Okay. So, that was the lesson today. The topic of the lesson was family and the grammar structure we learned today was using have. We talked about the positive form, we talked about the negative form, and the question form. So if you guys have any questions, please ask.
So this person over here is saying that what he's understanding what you're saying.
Cool. What he understands. Okay, that's good. And any other questions?
Alguma pergunta que vocês tenham e vocês queiram escrever?
What we talked about today. So topic, family,
Falamos a respeito de família. Esse foi o tópico da aula de hoje. Dos verbos had e do verbo has. Em português é o mesmo verbo, é o verbo ter. Porém, em inglês eles têm diferentes formas, depende do sujeito da frase. E foi isso que nós aprendemos hoje nessa aula, com vários exemplos a respeito de árvore genealógica, frases para praticar em casa.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you guys for watching, and I wish you all the best.
I would like to say, a última coisa que eu gostaria de falar, que segundas-feiras, lembrando vocês, segunda-feira, eu vou estar traduzindo tudo, inglês intermediário, vou traduzir só algumas coisas, vou tentar não traduzir muito. Amanhã, quarta-feira, eu não vou traduzir nada, porque é inglês avançado. Eu queria deixar com vocês. Tchau, tchau.